Welcome back to UXD. In this video I thought I would do a similar video to the one that I did on Wednesday, where I did a bit more of a deep dive into the fixed element feature that came in the June update of Adobe XD. So in today's video what I want to do is a deep dive into the overlay feature that came in the June update, and the overlay feature is part of the prototyping section of XD. So XD is split into a design where you actually create your apps and your designs, that kind of thing, and then the prototyping is where you get to link all your screens together and now link your overlays together and actually make your designs something that you can test with, something that you can take out to the field and test with users, test in a lab, that kind of thing. So yeah, in today's video I'm just going to do a bit more of a deep dive into the new overlay feature. So what I've got here is I've got that banking app that you might have seen if you've seen some of my other videos, but if you haven't, no worries. And at this point I've got a screen which lets you add a new account, and there's a number of form fields, and the form fields are typically a place where you would tap in and a keyboard would appear because you might be typing in an account name or you're adding a mobile number, for instance. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to use the new overlay feature, because what we want to happen when you tap into, say, this field for instance, is we want the iOS I should say, keyboard to appear, just as it would if someone was using their iPhone. So I've grabbed these two keyboards straight from the UI kit that Apple provide for iOS 11, I think it is. I've got the numbers keyboard and then I've got the keys keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the prototyping part of XD, and I'm just going to show you how simple adding an overlay is. So I've got the field selected here, add account name, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the small shop one over here, and I'm just going to drag that over to the overlay keys, because at this point I want people to be able to type, so they're going to want to be able to see a keyboard. So just drag that over here, and now you can see you've got your two options here. So you've got a transition or you've got the overlay option. So when I press on overlay, this green box appears, right? And what this green box is showing is it's showing you the position of the overlay on the screen itself. So this is where it'll actually appear. So if I leave it in this position, you'll see what happens when I go to preview. And if we just click through the screens, actually I want to preview from this screen. So if we just click here, you'll see. So the overlay has appeared in the center where that green box was, but that's not right. That's not how we want it to appear, and that's certainly not where we want it to appear. So we'll just go back, we'll click into here, and we'll find that overlay, that green box again. Now, what I want to happen is I want it to mirror the typical iOS pattern. So I want it to slide up from the bottom. So I'm going to move this green box all the way down, and you can see that when you press on the move icon in the middle of the green box, it actually shows you a preview of the overlay screen itself, which is so helpful because it gives you that instant feedback about what you're going to see. So I'm going to just align that with the bottom of the screen, and now I want to change the way that the actual overlay appears. So I'm going to click on the chevron here, and I've got my options appear there. So I've picked the right screen, so it's the overlay keys, but the transition I want it to slide up. You've got a few other options here though as well. It could be none, so it could be instant. You could do a dissolve, which you just saw. You could do a slide in from left or a slide in from right, which might be the sort of thing that you would do with, say, a burger menu or any other kind of menu. Or you've got a slide down, which might be something that you would do if you had like a selector appearing from the top, a filter selector, that kind of thing. But in this instance, I want it to slide up. And then you've got your easing controls. So it can ease out, it can ease in, it can do ease in and out, or it can do none. In this instance, I'm perfectly happy with ease out, but I do want the duration to be slightly quicker, so I want it to be 0.2 seconds. So I'm just going to tap OK on that. And now if we go back to previewing this screen again, here, you'll see that when I tap on here, fingers crossed, it'll appear from the bottom. Okay, we've still got a dissolve. For some reason it keeps doing this and I'm not really sure why, but I'm just going to go back and I'm going to amend that again. So tapping on the chevron, definitely don't want it to dissolve, I want it to slide up. Okay, so that's confirmed. Just tap off there, slide up. Okay, that's great. And then let's go to the screen, try that again, and there we go. The other great thing about this is that it's default behavior that if they tap anywhere in here, it's going to disappear. See? Really helpful. That actually still looks a bit slow. So I can go back to here, click back on the chevron, and I can adjust that. So it's at 0.4, even though I said it's at 0.2. So it would be really helpful actually if anyone from XD is watching this, there to be a way that I could like a button to say confirm or save, something to just give me that extra feedback to know that the settings I've chosen have been set. That'd be really good. Anyway, I'm going to assume they have now. So I'm going back over to the main screen, and now when I tap on it, okay, that's much quicker. Definitely did set it that time. So I'm just going to show you this process again, but this time using my numbers keyboard. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to select mobile number, click on the chevron again, and this time I'm going to choose the artboard. Instead of dragging it to pick, which is one option, you can also choose it. So what was the name of it? Overlay numbers. This is where it can come in really handy, guys, to make sure that you're naming your folders or naming your artboards, because then it just makes things easier when you're in the prototyping stage. So overlay numbers. Again, I want that to slide up, but for some reason, okay, there we go. I want it to slide up from the bottom, so I'm just going to put it all the way down there. Go back to the chevron, slide up, that's great. Ease out. Okay, so it seems to have remembered the settings that I set for the previous overlay. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show you some of the other transition options that you've got here. So slide left, if you wanted the numbers to slide up on left, which you might do for some reason. Let's try that out, and I'll make the duration really short in this instance. So let's go to preview the screen. There we go, really quick slide in from the left there. Slide back out, slide back in. So let's try slide in from the right. And let's just set it to ease in. There we go, so it's changing on the fly. That's a lot more of a harsh ease in. And then let's go with the slide down. This is going to be a very strange one, because this is not typical behavior. And look how much it's moving. Like it feels very odd. That definitely the most appropriate transition for this interaction is the slide up from the bottom. But you can see that the duration, the easing just doesn't feel quite right. It's very abrupt. So we're going to change that back to ease out. I'm going to set the duration to 0.2. That's a little more comfortable. You want it to be nice and responsive though. There we go. Perfect. So those are all the options that are at your disposal when you're setting up your overlays in the prototyping part of Adobe XD. I hope you found this deep dive into the overlay feature useful. I think it's a really powerful new feature for XD, especially in relation to prototyping. As you can see here, the form field is just one place that you might use that in your app design, that kind of thing. But XD is free to download. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit the like button below, and I'll see you next time.